If a company just had to compensate, then they could almost break that down into an accounting function and say, all right, well, we'll do all this bad stuff and we'll occasionally get caught and then we just have to compensate people. And they kind of weigh that out and go, yeah, that makes us more money. But punitive damages say you will be punished for doing it. Well, that throws their calculus all out of whack, okay? Well, what's the second part? It's to deter. It's so that this defendant, the next time they're thinking about
pressing somebody, you're just squashing them and turning them into not even a human being anymore.
Or whatever it might be, you want them to go, wait a minute, the last time we did that in Alabama, we got hit with $100,000, $500,000, $1 million in punitive damage. I am not doing that again. But it's not just for that defendant. It's for other defendants in that same area, same industry. When they're thinking about doing something wrong, they go, wait a minute, do you remember 2 years ago, our competitor did that in Alabama, and they got popped for, again, $100,000, $500,000, $1 million in punitive damage. We don't want any part of that in Alabama. That's the purpose of this. So to punish somebody for doing very, very bad conduct and to deter the defendant and other similar companies from doing that. And what's the kind of beneath all of this, what's the point? It's to make the community safe. It's to say, whether it's financially, physically, we want to discourage them from doing that because we want the community to be safe. We want in Alabama, and other states want this too, but I'm just talking about in Alabama. We want in Alabama for companies to not be lying. Okay? We want the community to be a place where we raise our family, we can go to school, go to work, worship, whatever we want to do, and be safe when we do that. That's the point of punitive damages. So you'll see all this kind of tort reform stuff, and people go, oh, it's terrible, punitive damages, and just greedy plaintiffs and greedy lawyers. Well, it's money, and that money has to go somewhere. So yes, it does go to the person that was injured. It does go to their attorney.
This is what you hear about a lot on TV and the media when you hear like a big lawsuit and saying he won $10 million in punitive damages. Punitive damages are damages that are designed to punish the defendant, to deter them from future conduct. Okay, and oftentimes these can be large awards at the discretion of the jury. If you're the plaintiff, you're going to need to show some willful, malicious conduct, oppressive conduct, fraudulent conduct. Okay, so those are things that you're looking for. When you have those kinds of facts that you can prove in a case, you may be able to seek punitive damages. Some statutes specifically write in that punitive damages are available.
The defendant has to really, really do some bad stuff. And when they do that, the punitive damages are to say, okay, we're going to punish you for doing that. Maybe it's fraud, maybe it's reckless conduct.
What is malice? Malice is an intent to cause injury. This is malicious, okay? This is somebody who's just being malicious. As it says here, despicable acts of a defendant. What is despicable? Things that are despised by reasonable people. What's a reasonable person? Tell it to the jury. Hopefully they agree with you. So, despicable acts of a defendant, despised by reasonable people, and malice, willing and knowing disregard of the rights or safety of another. You can also ask them about their responses to these, because these are under oath as well. So when you get to a deposition, you may want to ask them about the complaint. In fact, I'm just going to go right here. You may want to ask them about the complaint, the answer, the discovery, documents that you produce, documents that are yours, and just get their general sworn testimony under oath. Admissions, requests for admissions. You're getting someone to admit or deny something. You can send out subpoenas. Judge, at the deposition, she said something totally different. And so you pull it up and it's all under oath. And then you ask them, were you lying then or are you lying now? You hook up your opponent, the deponent, and they're hooked up with gear, microphone. You got the camera staring at them. And this is a good time for you to test the credibility of the witness.
Better lawyers will admit the things that should be admitted. Still, it's unlikely that happens. They almost always deny everything, though. and then we'll point out to the judge that the other side is playing games, or they're being dishonest, or they're hiding documents. And so let them be the bad guys. We want to be the good guys here. And then when we're talking to this representative or this employee of the defendant, we want to be able to ask questions to see, do they agree with your version of what happened? Do they disagree? Are they going to take absurd positions? And I'll just tell you this, a lot of times they do. You know, they take positions that I think, who in the world came up with this? You know, first of all, you need to tell the truth. But if you're not going to tell the truth, why say something so stupid and absurd? But I'm just amazed at and we're talking major corporations will do this. They will just flat out lie, and lie in a dumb way. But hey, that's fine. They're under oath, and there are consequences when they do that.
To allege and to show and prove malice by the defendant or defendants. What is malice? Malice is an intent to cause injury. This is malicious, okay? This is somebody that's just being malicious. As it says here, despicable acts of a defendant. What is despicable? Things that are despised by reasonable people. Malice, willing and knowing disregard of the rights or safety of another. It's, again, despicable conduct of a defendant which causes cruel and unjust hardship in knowing disregard of the rights of others. So that may seem similar to malice. It may seem malicious. As you know the word oppressing, you're oppressing somebody, you're just squashing them and turning them into not even a human being anymore. Make a list of potential witnesses that you think you have, names, phone numbers, contacts, anyone that you have that can support your version of events. Witnesses that were there that could see them, and if an attorney was able to call them and verify that information.
To deter the defendant and other similar companies from doing that. And what's the kind of beneath all of this, what's the point? It's to make the community safe. It's to say companies are out there just doing crazy stuff, harming people, whether it's financially, physically. So punitive damages, we want to discourage them from doing that because we want the community to be safe, to keep our state safe.